Hi, my name's Jessica Elias.
My name's Katie Darling.
And
this is our A Long Way Gone project.
A Long Way Gone is written by Ishmael Bey. It's a nonfiction that's 218 pages. The main characters in this nonfiction are Ishmael Bey, Esther, which is his nurse,
Al-Haji, who is his best friend with him all the way through rehab, the lieutenant, who he related to a lot with Shakespeare and whatnot, his Uncle Tommy, who took him in after he was in rehab. This book takes place in Sierra Leone from 1993 to 1998, and Sierra Leone is a country on the western coast of Africa.
The theme of A Long Way Gone is family, and here's a quote that represents that. My squad was my family, my gun was my provider and protector, and my rule was to kill or be killed. And this is located on page 126.
Throughout the book, Ishmael develops relationships with the people around him, and they become his family. Multiple times throughout the book, Ishmael's family is ripped away from him, so he's forced to develop new families as he goes along. This book represents the struggle Ishmael has to fill the gap that his own dying family left.
The book starts off with Ishmael in Sierra Leone with his family. As the book progresses, the war begins, and Ishmael and his three brothers become homeless and begin their journey of running away from the war.
Eventually, Ishmael and his brothers are separated, and he joins together with another group of boys. They seek safety in a village called Yele, and after being in Yele are given no other choice but then to become child soldiers. After about 2 years of being child soldiers, they are removed from the war by UNICEF and put into rehabilitation. After 8 months in rehab, he's moved in with his uncle and later moves to New York.
Here's a section of one of the songs Ishmael and his friends listened to in Sierra Leone.
Get out with LPP, yeah, you know me. Get out with LPP, yeah, you know me. Who's down with LPP? Every line's on me.
This is an example of how music was an important asset to their journey throughout Sierra Leone.
The guards walked into the circle and started searching our pockets. One of them found a rap cassette in my pocket and handed it to the chief. He asked for it to be played. When the music stopped, the chief stroked his beard, thinking. "Tell me," he said, turning to me, "how did you get this foreign music?" I told him that we rapped. He didn't know what rap music was, so I did my best to explain to him. It is similar to telling parables, but in the white man's language, I concluded. I also told him that we were dancers and had a group in Matujang where we used to attend school. "Matujang?" he asked, and called for a young man who was from that village. The boy was brought before the chief and asked if he knew us and if he had ever heard us speak parables in the white man's language. He knew my name, my brothers, and those of my friends. He remembered us from performances we had done. None of us knew him, not even by his face, but we warmly smiled as if we recognized him as well. He saved our lives. This is page 38 from Along. Okay, this is our evaluation/opinion on A Long Way Gone.
Alright, in my opinion, the book was very good. It's normally not something I would read. Ishmael did tell it very, very well. I can't really relate to the characters in it, but it was a good book. It did drag on a lot in the villages. It just went into way too much detail. I got bored with it personally, but some people would really enjoy this book. It wasn't something I would normally read.
I'm gonna agree with Jessica. I think that there was a lot of action and a lot of gore, and I wouldn't normally read a book about that. I couldn't relate to the characters either because I've never experienced anything that they have. I think Ishmael did a great job of writing this book. I think the book was very believable. It was very accurate. And I think that it did kind of drag on. It was kind of long. I didn't necessarily get bored. I did get a lot from this. It was very informational and eye-opening. But I would recommend it to somebody, to maybe a guy. A guy would probably like this more than I did.
And the purpose of this was probably to inform people about child soldiers in Africa and other places. Ishmael is currently a member of the Human Rights Watch Children's Rights Division Advisory Committee.
He often speaks in front of the United Nations and the Council on Foreign Relations. He is a goodwill advisor for UNICEF and helps children affected by war.
3.
Thanks for watching our Long Way Gone project. Bye!